Information is starting to leak out in the cracks of this Sonya Massey story. Huh? Information is starting to leak out in the cracks of this Sonya Massey story.
They said it's under investigation, and then they said that they told the doctor, the hospital, that she committed suicide first, and then they changed it.
We're not in a fair fight.
Mm-hmm.
We're already outmatched and outgunned at all points.
Did Katt Williams just reveal the shocking truth behind the tragic death of Sonya Massey? In a world where the lines between justice and injustice are blurred, Katt Williams has stepped up to expose the chilling details that have everyone talking. From accusations of racial bias to leaked footage that has the internet in a frenzy, this case is far from closed. What really happened to Sonya Massey, and why is Katt Williams speaking out now?
We're already outmatched and outgunned at all points. And yet, every time we score a punch, it scores.
The tragic story of Sonya's unalivement has shocked the community and left many unanswered questions. What really happened on that fateful day? Why did Sonya dial 911 multiple times before her untimely death? Let's dive in. The day Sonya called 911 to report an intruder in her home was not the first time she had reached out to authorities. In the days leading up to the incident, several emergency calls were made from Sonya's residence. In one call, Sonya's mother, Sonya Massey, expressed her concerns about her daughter's mental state, describing her as experiencing a breakdown. Donna pleaded with the authorities, asking them not to send a prejudiced officer. Sonya Massey called 911 on July 5th around 9 a.m., according to dispatch call records. Around 10 a.m., Springfield police arrived at the home of her daughter, Sonya Massey, who said she did not want to speak with medical professionals at the time. Then, in another 911 call around 1 p.m. that same day, Sonya Massey said that a neighbor had gone to her house and was causing problems, alleging that the person had broken her driver's seat window with a brick. Sometime after that call, Massey went to the hospital. It's unclear if she went on her own or was accompanied by police. Once at the hospital, Massey told medical personnel that she had broken another window herself on the driver's side of her car to get into the vehicle and get away. Records state she had minor scrapes, apparently from reaching into the car through broken windows. Authorities at the hospital with Massey said she was having some 1096 issues, which is police language for mental health problems. She advised medical staff that she had recently been released from a mental hospital, with her paperwork dated July 3rd, according to dispatch call records. Audio records also show another call a day earlier, on July 4th, from an unidentified person who sounded like Massey and who said that someone was trying to hurt them. When the dispatcher asked whom the caller was referring to, the caller responded, "A lot of them." On July 6th, the day of the shooting, body-worn camera footage shows Grayson and another deputy arriving at Massey's home after she made a call about a possible prowler near her residence. After the deputies canvassed the area, they began questioning Massey at her door. Footage shows both deputies walking inside the home and asking Massey to identify herself to them. While she searches for her identification in the living room, Grayson points to the kitchen, and Massey walks over to her stove to turn off a boiling pot of water. The two deputies take a step back while Massey is handling the pot.
You better fucking not. I swear to God, I'll fucking shoot you right in your fucking face.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Drop the fucking pot! Drop the fucking pot!
Meanwhile, Sonya's son, Malachi Hill Massey, has been determined to bring the truth to light. During a press conference, Malachi shared crucial information. On the day of the incident, he claimed there was another 911 call, leading to two officers, including Officer Sha Grayson, arriving at their home. Malachi recounted how the officers assured him they were heading to the hospital to assist Sonya, who was driving herself there.
And they told me that because she was driving herself to the hospital or something, she wasn't even at the house when this was going on, but she was driving herself to the hospital. They told me that they were going to go there to help her.
But then, tragedy struck. If Officer Grayson had been at the house earlier, he was aware of Sonya's mental health struggles. So why was there aggression instead of understanding? Sonya's father, James Wilburn, shared his experience of receiving conflicting information. Initially, he was told that an intruder was responsible for Sonya's death. It wasn't until his brother discovered Sonya's address in a report involving a deputy that the family realized the truth.
I did not find out that the deputies killed her until my brother asked for Sonya's address, and I gave it to him, and he said, brother, this says deputies involved. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
The release of the body cam footage brought a shocking revelation. It wasn't Sonya who harmed herself or an intruder. It was the officers. This footage contradicted the initial reports and exposed a disturbing truth. James revealed that Sonya seemed to have a premonition of danger.
She feared for her life. There was some premonition that she had. And it seems like he was just an emissary of Satan.
Tragically, the footage showed that Officer Sha Grayson had turned off his body cam during the interaction, while his partner's camera captured the events. But was Sonya's death a setup? The internet is buzzing with speculation. One theory suggests a hidden connection between Sonya and Officer Grayson's fiancée, Isabel Butterfield. Sonya and Isabel reportedly met at a mental health treatment center where Isabel worked.
I started doing some digging and I realized y'all said that Sonya had on a hospital bracelet. I looked up the closest place where she could have got medical care to her house, an 8-minute drive away, and guess where we ended up at? Capital Community Health Center.
Sonya was wearing a hospital bracelet when she died, suggesting she had been at the health center before the incident. Many believe a confrontation with Isabel might have led Sonya to rush home, where she met her tragic fate.
The police actually, especially Sha Grayson, who I'm talking about, actually caused the situation in the backyard, and then they took the call, which is why she didn't even have a chance to get clothes on. Because if I heard something in the driveway, wouldn't you automatically get dressed?
Could Officer Grayson have orchestrated the situation in the backyard? Why did Sonya not have time to dress properly before encountering the officers? These unanswered questions have fueled suspicions about the true nature of the incident. In any case, Officer Sha Grayson's rise in the law enforcement world has been anything but ordinary. At the heart of the controversy is his questionable employment history, which has sparked outrage and concern among the public. Once Grayson became a household name, people were eager to uncover the truth about his background, and what they found was nothing short of astonishing. Grayson's journey into law enforcement began not with an impressive resume or a stellar track record, but with a well-placed connection. His initial application to become a police officer was backed by a reference from his girlfriend's father, Scott Butterfield, a former sheriff's deputy. This connection, rather than his qualifications, was pivotal in securing his position. The WCIA news channel obtained Grayson's personnel files through the Freedom of Information Act, revealing that his emergency contact and beneficiary designation were none other than his girlfriend, and his hiring reference was her father. Scott Butterfield, who had a long and distinguished career with the Sangamon County Sheriff's Office, retired in 2020 after 30 years of service. However, his influence clearly lingered, as Grayson managed to land a job in law enforcement thanks to Butterfield's glowing endorsement. Butterfield described Grayson as a mellow, non-confrontational person with good communication skills and highly recommended him for employment with the Sangamon County Sheriff's Office. Sangamon County Sheriff Jack Campbell even stated that Grayson's personnel file included references from people he knew well. But the question arises, did these personal connections blind them to the red flags that were present from the start? Grayson's employment history was littered with warning signs. Before joining the Sangamon County Sheriff's Office, he had worked at 5 different law enforcement agencies between 2020 and 2024. This means he cycled through 6 different police departments in just 4 years. Such a rapid turnover should have raised eyebrows, yet it seemingly went unnoticed or ignored. More concerning were his 2 drunk driving convictions within a year, one of which led to his premature discharge from the Army. If the Army deemed him unfit for duty, why did the police force see him as a suitable candidate? A psychological evaluation conducted on May 31, 2023, declared Grayson fit to serve but noted his tendency to act impulsively and recommended stress management classes. Despite this, Grayson failed to attend the classes. Sheriff Campbell claimed ignorance of any issues at Grayson's previous workplaces, but the records tell a different story. WCIA obtained files indicating that Grayson was investigated twice for misconduct at the Logan County Sheriff's Office. One incident involved a high-speed chase where Grayson disobeyed orders to terminate the pursuit, turning off his sirens and lights to evade detection, which resulted in him crashing into a deer. Such reckless behavior should have warranted serious consequences, but Grayson remained employed. Further reports from the Auburn, Illinois Police Department in 2022 described Grayson as aggressive and noted his public posting about an arrest involving illegal substances on social media. Despite these reports, Sheriff Campbell dismissed them, arguing that Grayson's employment history reflected ambition rather than misconduct. Campbell suggested that the negative feedback from Grayson's past employers indicated a need for further training, which he saw as standard procedure for deputies with Grayson's experience. The sheriff's office sent Grayson to a 16-week academy training program, mandatory for all new and lateral transfer deputies, and Campbell emphasized that a DUI did not automatically disqualify a candidate. He viewed Grayson's movement between departments as evidence of his ambition to progress to larger, more structured organizations. However, this explanation failed to satisfy critics, including Sangamon County Board member Mark Ayers, who was responsible for hiring new deputies. Ayers claimed he was unaware of Grayson's troubled past and negative reports from previous employers, a statement that many found hard to believe. The situation raises numerous questions about the role of nepotism and accountability in law enforcement. Why did those around Grayson place so much trust in him? Was it solely due to his father-in-law's influence, or did they genuinely believe in his potential? And if his connections played such a significant role, should those who supported him be held accountable for his actions? Grayson's story highlights a pervasive issue in many institutions: the power of personal connections. While having a strong network can be beneficial, it should not overshadow an individual's qualifications and conduct. In Grayson's case, it seems that his relationship with Butterfield gave him a free pass, allowing him to bypass the scrutiny that others might face. This raises concerns about the fairness and integrity of the hiring process within law enforcement agencies. Moreover, Grayson's case underscores the importance of thorough background checks and evaluations. The fact that he managed to secure positions at multiple agencies, despite his history of misconduct and legal troubles, points to a systemic failure in vetting candidates. Law enforcement agencies have a responsibility to ensure that their officers are not only qualified but also possess the character and judgment necessary to uphold the law. In Grayson's case, these standards were not met, and the consequences were significant. In the midst of public backlash, Grayson's family came to his defense. His grandmother-in-law penned an op-ed titled, "Does anyone care about Sean Grayson's family or what horrifying reality they are dealing with?" And if that had you raising your eyebrows, you're not ready to hear what she actually wrote. She starts off writing, "First to the protesters. What are you protesting? Sean is in jail. Charges are filed. Trial date to be set and punishment to be applied. Sean is not going anywhere, so please knock off wearing out your sweat glands. So please take your signs and go home and just be humans, not the amusement or disgust to the public." Of course, people who read the op-ed were pissed. They felt like Butterfield was missing the entire point. People were protesting why Sean was on the force in the first place, even after his history. It's not just about him, it's the fact that he highlights a deeper systemic issue within the police force that needs to be addressed. She went on to write, "Does anyone care about Sean's family or what horrifying reality they are dealing with? What about his fiancée he was to marry in October? She is an innocent young woman who also is unfairly being persecuted. Does anyone care about the destruction of her life? She is left to deal with emotional death. Sean's future-in-law families, a to-be father-in-law who is as close to Sean as a father as can be, a future mother-in-law, sister-in-law, and brother-in-law, who is Sean's friend, future grandparents who loved Sean dearly and still do shock disbelief and reality, but an undying support for Sean. The past cannot be relieved. The future is unknown." And once again, fans were pissed.
See, we're not only protesting that your weak-ass grandson-in-law, Sonya Massey, we're protesting the fact that why was his weak ass on a police force in the first place after having 4 years and 6 jobs under his belt?
However, the lines that have everyone fuming are, "We will always support Sean. Judge not, lest you be judged. No man or woman is without sin. There is a final judgment for all. Proud grandmother-to-be of Sean Grayson. But what exactly is there to be proud of? He took a life for no reason." The religious references seem ironic, given that her son-in-law drew his weapon after a woman said she rebuked him in the name of Jesus. In any case, Sonya Massey's tragic death has stirred up a storm of emotions and debates, with many people outraged and questioning the justice system's integrity. It's a story that has left us all with a bitter taste, wondering how such an obvious injustice could unfold in today's world. The way the case was handled feels like a slap in the face to anyone who believes in fair play. The police's alleged setup and the shocking footage that emerged make it clear that there's a lot more to this story than meets the eye. It's almost like watching a crime drama unfold, but with real, heartbreaking consequences. People are rightfully angry, and who can blame them? Sonya's family, her community, and supporters from all over are demanding answers. They want justice, and they're not going to let this slide without a fight. The whole situation reeks of negligence and bias, a pattern that's been all too familiar in similar cases. Katt Williams didn't hold back in pointing out the harsh realities that Black communities face daily. His words resonate with many who feel that the system is rigged against them, a sentiment that's sadly echoed in too many stories like Sonya's. At the end of the day, Sonya Massey's death should be more than just another headline. It should be a wake-up call, a rallying cry for change. Her story is a reminder that we've got a long way to go in making sure justice is truly served regardless of race. Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye.